We were all smoking pot out in the Salt Flats at a Burning Man regional event, and I saw this guy giving away just the biggest, coolest pieces of glass. And I was like, what the hell? You know, and he was just giving them away, and I thought that was like the coolest thing. Who does that? And so that was really my first time I ever saw or met Christian.
I had some pipes that were collecting dust in my studio, and I was like, oh, I'll just bring some pipes and hand them out. It'd be a good way to make friends. Jeff was always the cool guy at the back of the events, like listening to the music, handing out the bowls to everybody.
I was fortunate
like
enough to know some people that were on the cutting edge of cannabis and really got to see some cool stuff as concentrates were really blowing up.
And I was like, didn't really get it, wasn't really into it. I felt like I'd had a couple bad experiences like with dabs and oil rigs, and I was like, I don't like this stuff. And then Jeff showed me the straw, and I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. At least I can control my dose with the straw, but I didn't really like, you know, getting the oil on my teeth or how hot the hits were.
And really a lot of it was because just hitting it, I always was choking out. Everything was so strong, it was so new. Everything was new to everybody, and people were just like, you know, it wasn't as fun as it possibly could have been.
Before the Nectar Collector, dab straws were not popular. You know, like the Nectar Collector popularized all that style of dabbing. And I mean, it existed. I know glass blowers who said, yeah, back in 2005, we would take scrap pieces of tube and, you know, dip them in the hash oil that we made ourselves, you know.
But it was knife hits.
The Nectar Collector, the water-cooled chamber really popularized the idea of a vertical dab, you know, where you're taking the hot thing and bringing it to the oil rather than taking the oil and bringing it to the hot device.
Once it started working and working well, it was a game changer. All of a sudden it was like, ding.
Oh, it went viral for sure.
It went viral.
Yeah, very quickly in 2012. Like.
So then patent.
Yeah.
And trademarks and going legitimate.
Knockoffs and all that stuff.
From the back of U-Haul to, you know, whatever.
It happened really fast.
Yeah. It's been beautiful to watch from day one. I mean, it's grown as long as cannabis has evolved.
We're evolving. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's always been my thing. You know, I like coming up with new ideas and seeing them through. I mean, it's one thing to have an idea; it's another thing to engineer it and come to a finished product. I don't think there's anything in the pipe world right now that comes close to the technology that's in the Nectar Collector. I just want the Nectar Collector to be the best smoking device in the world, and I really think that we've got the elements to do that right now.
The coolest stuff is right now.
So, it is right now.
And what I personally like, it's really Christian's idea, is to make some of the modular pieces work with every piece we've ever sold. So that if you bought our first piece in the lot at some festival when we were slinging them at the festival lot, you can get a collar and put it on the latest version that we've got now with doublers and all this electric stuff.
Yep,
that's cool.
Universal.
It's impossible not to take your perfect hit, because you're going to hit it and you're going to go, ugh, and that's when you stop. Because it's impossible not to take the hit you want.
You can bury the tip in there, you know what I mean, and vaporize your whole stash in one hit. Or you can just take little sips like a hummingbird, which was kind of the whole idea behind the Nectar Collector, you know, dip and sip and just...
You don't have to waste it to taste it.
No, you don't have to waste it to taste it. Jeff's got all these great little one-liners. The inspiration for the water-cooled, spill-proof chamber, which came as kind of like a full idea to me in a flash of light. I was sitting there, how do I make this better? And I was like, oh, this is how I make it better. And I drew it, and I went out in the studio and made one, and, you know, dabbed out of it within the span of about 45 minutes. When that happened, I knew for sure that, like, it was a life-changing, like, the best idea I've had in my life.
Some of the dabbing technique was the seed, but it needed, like, the inspiration to really, you know, bring it to life, or else it wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Had Jeff not come and said, hey, our friends up in Oregon are using pipettes from the chemistry shop to take dabs.
Secret's out.
You know, like, they're really cheap. Can you make a nicer one? And so the first time we met in the studio, like, I whipped a few out. We tried them out. It's like, oh, this is cool. You know, but then it was like, you know, what it needed was the water cooling and the spill resistant, you know, the things that were patentable ideas.
And as that's evolving, you've got legalization in certain states where people are actually getting the equipment to do it right, and it's hitting the public for the first time.
Our timing was good on this.
The timing was good, so it's like ding.
Yeah. It was a pretty heady year back in 2012 for sure.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember it.